Your check engine light comes on. The shop scans it and gives you the bad news. Bank 2, sensor 1, your oxygen sensor is failing. Then they hand you a quote for $400 to replace a part that costs $60. Here's the kicker. The job itself takes about 20 minutes if you know what you're doing. And one wrong move can destroy your exhaust manifold and turn a $60 part into a $2,000 repair. In this video, I'll show you 10 critical steps to replace your oxygen sensor the Japanese way. You can do it completely at home with tools you'll use for years to come. And don't miss step 5. It's a technique even veteran mechanics rarely talk about because it goes against what most parts stores will tell you when you walk in the door. Number 1, read the code before you touch anything. Here's what most people do. The check engine light comes on, someone tells them it's the oxygen sensor, and they start ordering parts. What nobody tells you is that oxygen sensor covers 4 different sensors on most modern vehicles, and replacing the wrong one fixes nothing. The most common code on Toyota and Lexus vehicles is Bank 2, Sensor 1, and that specific code almost always points to a failure inside the sensor's internal heating circuit. A Toyota technician in Nagoya showed me a stack of perfectly good downstream sensors that were replaced for nothing because the owner skipped the diagnostic step and guessed. Pull the actual code with a basic OBD2 scanner before you order a single part. But even with the right code, most people make a critical mistake in the next step. Number 2, find the right sensor first. Most people open the hood, see a sensor, and assume that's the one. That's a mistake. Modern engines have an upstream sensor and a downstream sensor on each bank. Sensor 1 is always the upstream sensor, the one located before the catalytic converter, typically screwed directly into or near the exhaust manifold. If you replace the wrong one, the code comes right back. On most Toyotas and Lexuses, Bank 2 is the side opposite the timing belt or chain, but always confirm with your specific model before you start turning wrenches. Now, you might think you've located the part correctly, but the next mistake is the one that destroys engines. Number 3, the wrong socket ruins everything. Most people grab a regular deep socket from their toolbox and try to muscle the sensor out. Let me warn you, that is one of the fastest ways to destroy an oxygen sensor and damage the wiring harness at the same time. Oxygen sensors have a permanently attached wire that runs out the top of the sensor body. A standard socket has no opening for that wire, so the moment you put it on, you're either crushing the wire or you can't seat the socket at all. The Japanese method demands one specific tool, a proper oxygen sensor socket, a deep socket with a vertical cutout that lets the wiring slide through the side. It costs about $12 and lasts a lifetime. And here's something that will surprise you. Even the right socket isn't enough on its own. Number 4, heat cycles make sensors seize. You can have the correct socket, the correct part, and the correct procedure, and the sensor still won't budge. Why? Because oxygen sensors live through thousands of heat cycles. Every time you start your engine, that sensor heats to over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, then cools back down when you park. And over years, that constant expansion and contraction welds the sensor's threads into the manifold. A standard ratchet won't break it loose, and forcing one with a short handle is exactly how people strip the threads on a manifold worth $2,000. The Japanese method uses a breaker bar, a long, non-ratcheting handle that gives you the leverage to crack the sensor free without sudden jerks. If it won't move, spray penetrating oil around the base, wait 15 minutes, and try again. If you thought tools were the whole job, wait until you hear the step that separates beginners from real mechanics. Number 5, disconnect before you unscrew. In America, most backyard mechanics reach straight for the sensor itself and start cranking. Japanese technicians always trace the wire first, find the plastic electrical connector, and unclip it from the harness before they touch the sensor body. If the sensor is seized and you're applying serious force with a breaker bar, the sensor body can suddenly twist free. And if the wire is still plugged in, that rotation rips the connector apart or damages the harness. Unclip first, unscrew second. That's the order, always. But here's the real kicker. What you do to the new sensor before installation matters more than how you remove the old one. Number 6. Anti-seize is mandatory, not optional. Most parts store employees will tell you the new sensor doesn't need anti-seize because it comes pre-coated from the factory. That's only half true. Some sensors come with a thin coating on the threads, but that coating is designed for the first installation only. The Japanese method always adds a small amount of copper-based anti-seize lubricant to the threads of the new sensor before installation. Without it, in 3 years, your new sensor is welded into the manifold exactly like the old one was. $3 of anti-seize prevents a $2,000 mistake. Now this next one sounds minor, but it's killed more new sensors than any other mistake I've seen. Number 7. Anti-seize on the tip ruins everything. Almost nobody warns you about this, and it's the single most expensive mistake on this list. Anti-seize belongs on the threads, only on the threads. If a single drop touches the sensor tip, the small slotted section at the bottom of the sensor, that lubricant gets vaporized by exhaust heat and permanently coats the sensing element inside, turning a brand new sensor into scrap metal before you've even started the car. The Japanese method is methodical. Hold the sensor pointing downward, apply a thin layer of anti-seize only to the threaded section, and wipe off any excess with a clean rag. If even one drop ends up on the tip, throw the sensor out and start over with a new one. Number 8. Hand thread first, always. How many of us have thought, I'll just thread it in with the socket, it's faster? Trust me, resist that urge completely. Threading an oxygen sensor with a socket and ratchet is exactly how people cross-thread the manifold. And once those threads are damaged, you're either re-tapping the hole, installing a thread insert, or replacing the manifold entirely. The Japanese method always starts the new sensor by hand. Thread it in slowly, fingers only, until you feel resistance. If it doesn't spin in smoothly within the first 2 or 3 turns, stop immediately and back it out, because something is wrong. Only after the sensor is hand tight do you bring out the socket and breaker bar. Number 9. Tighten by feel, not by force. If you think tighter is always better, wait for this. Oxygen sensors don't follow the same rules as bolts. Over-tightening crushes the crush washer, distorts the housing, and can crack the ceramic element inside the sensor. The result is a brand new sensor that fails within weeks. The Japanese method aims for snug, firmly tight, but never forced. For most sensors, that's roughly 30 foot-pounds of torque, which translates to a confident pull on a standard ratchet, not a full body lean on a breaker bar. If you don't have a torque wrench, the rule is simple. Tighten until the sensor stops turning easily, then add about a quarter turn more. Number 10. Clear the code and verify. This may be the most important step of all. A lot of people install the new sensor, plug the connector back in until it clicks, start the car, and assume the job is done. The check engine light doesn't always turn off on its own, and even when it does, the original fault code can stay stored in the ECU for hundreds of miles. The Japanese diagnostic approach is methodical. After installation, plug your scanner back in, clear the stored code manually, then start the engine and let it idle for at least 5 minutes.